Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you for your testimony today. I have two questions, and they're kind of, one's about Iraq and one's about Haiti, kind of halfway around the world. But on balance, I think that what's happening in Iraq is obviously positive. But as you know, in the last year, what happened at Camp Ashraf is really troubling to an awful lot of people. I mean, once the Iraqi government kind of took over there, I guess it was back in June, the raids that occurred and the awful, deplorable situation that took place there, and then now to say we're going to move those 3,400 folks to some detention center certainly is got a lot of people's attention, because it's not just about Iraq, it's about Iran. And I think, as you may know, I think 172 members of the House have signed on as co-sponsors of a resolution basically deploring that activity by the Iranian forces, kind of calling on Iraq to live up to its commitment to provide security, and also providing for the United States to take necessary action to kind of provide for their security. So I wanted you to maybe give us an update on the current status of that situation, and then quickly about just Haiti. It seems to me that out of that terrible, terrible situation, there's an opportunity for really a lot of good things to happen in Haiti today. And I just, with all this tremendous outpouring of international assistance, both private and public, is there any one entity that's kind of emerging as an entity to kind of coordinate all of this foreign assistance in both private and government? And as part of that, are there procedures being put in place to make sure that everything is being accounted for and being transparent? And finally, the third part of that is just, what's your view of the government there in Haiti and their ability to kind of rise up and be a partner with all this international assistance? If you could comment on those two, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Congressman. We're aware of the recent reports about difficulties in Camp Ashraf, and we have looked into these assertions. It is our conclusion that adequate food, fuel, and medical supplies are reaching the MEK members in the camp. Family visitation is not being blocked by Iraqi security forces. Foreign governments are able to conduct visits to the camp for any resident claiming third country status. Yes, the Iraqi government still has the stated goal of removing the MEK from Ashraf to another location, but there is no date for doing so. And our policy toward the MEK can be summarized briefly as follows. They are not refugees. They're not protected persons under the Fourth Geneva Convention. They are not providing valuable information on Iran to our government. However, we do support their human rights. We have repeatedly told the Iraqi government that we expect their human rights to be protected. We have, in prior administrations, designated the MEK as a foreign terrorist organization. We do support Iraqi sovereignty over Ashraf, and we do hold the Iraqi government responsible for how the members of the MEK are treated, and we expect the Iraqi government to honor its written assurances that it will treat the MEK members humanely. It will not forcibly relocate them to any country where they could be persecuted for religious or political beliefs, or where they could be tortured. And we support international participation in trying to resolve this matter. So there's a lot of information coming from all directions. We've tried to be very careful in evaluating what the facts are, and to the best of our ability, that is a brief summary. With respect to Haiti, there is going to be a coordinating entity created. It will be a combination of the Haitian government and the United Nations, along with a committee on which the United States will also participate. There will be measures of accountability that we are putting into place. There will be a conference on March 31st at the United Nations, co-sponsored by the United States and other major donor countries, to lay out the way forward. The Haitian government's ability was severely impacted by the earthquake. They are trying to kind of get themselves organized and focused, but it is a very difficult challenge for them, and we're doing everything we can to help them. They are very grateful for the aid, both the military and civilian aid and presence on the ground from the United States. So we have a big task ahead of us to try to help them take more responsibility, but to do so in an accountable way with sufficient oversight for the foreign assistance funds that are going to flow in.
Thank you.